first off, I really want to just kind of put out there that keloid is kind of a slang term for this type of scar tissue you usually get with piercing. Keloids, what they are, what causes them, how to treat them. So I kind of want to give a little talk about how I see keloids and how I see the best way to get rid of them and what exactly they are.
Never mind, let's keep going.
What exactly causes them. First off, I really want to just kind of put out there that keloid is kind of a slang term for...
Okay, we'll start here. Keloiding, keloid scarring, it is in no way, shape, or form a slang term.
This type of scar tissue you usually get with piercings. The technical term is hypertrophic scar tissue.
We'll stop again. Hypertrophic scar tissue and keloid scar tissue are two, in a sense, very different things. The similarity that they share is that they are scarring. That's in my opinion, just about all that they share in common. Hypertrophic scarring is when a scar forms that is no wider than the wound put in place prior to the scabbing falling off and the scar forming. You have a scar that is pretty much the size and shape of your wound that once was. Let's keep going.
That's like, within the industry you'll hear that word used a lot, or those words used a lot, and that's one of them. There's actually a few other technical terms too, depending on exactly what type of hypertrophic scar tissue it is or keloid it is. There's definitely a few different variations. But for the purposes of this video, and for the purpose of keeping everything really simple and just cut and dry, we're just gonna call it a keloid, and then we'll go from there. All right.
As much of a good idea as I think it can be sometimes with non-industry professionals to keep things in layman's terms and cut and dry, let's not call all of these things a keloid. The reason being is because they are not all a keloid. Let's keep going.
So what is a keloid? A keloid, for the most part, is a tiny little scar tissue bump that you're going to see usually on the entrance and the exit of the piercing. There's a few piercings that they're really, really common with. The first one being a nostril piercing. I feel like over half of the people that get their nose pierced, at some point during the healing process, gets a bit of a keloid bump or a little scar tissue bump.
Okay, so that leads me to the pretty much the entire reason I made this video. I'm a professional body piercer. I've been piercing professionally for somewhere between 8 and 9 years. I have seen more little bumps on noses than I could ever count. The reason being is because the nose is a pretty sensitive area. It is going to come in contact with your fingers, unfortunately, face wash, makeup, pillowcase, whether it's dirty or whether it's clean and it just so happens to be clean with some kind of detergent that isn't agreeing with your skin. This guy, Matt with urbanbodyjewelry.com, I discovered this video that he and UBJ made, and it has almost 500,000 views. I'd say every day, if not almost every day that I am at work, I either receive a handful of phone calls or a few visits in regards to what someone is convinced is a keloid scar. I wondered for a long time why everybody thought they had a keloid. And if I'm reading between the lines, if I go on YouTube and I type in keloid, this is like the third or fourth or fifth thing that pops up. I hope I can clear the air for at least a handful of people, if not more. Keloiding, like I said, is a very, very specific medical term for a scar, a very certain type of scar. Without getting too into it, for the sake of keeping it cut and dry in a very honest fashion, keloiding is scarring that grows and grows and grows and grows and stops. And it's there. And it's big. And it more than likely doesn't hurt. But it's not getting bigger at one point. It's not getting smaller at another point. It's just there until you decide to take it into your own hands and see a dermatologist about your keloid scar. From there, I don't know all the methodology behind getting rid of a keloid scar, but one thing I do know is that you more than likely can't do it at home. The only method I'm aware of removing one is quite literally removing one, lancing it off. Keloid scarring is it's a very also specific type of scarring in the sense that it is a genetic predisposition. And what I mean by that, if you're unfamiliar with that term of genetic predisposition, it's just like diabetes or cancer, I don't know, balding. You get keloid scarring because your great-granddad had keloid scarring, and maybe his mom had keloid scarring. It's nothing that you can prevent unless you decide not to get pierced or fall down or bump into something. It is, like I said, a genetic predisposition. It is not a slang term. It is not a hypertrophic scar. It does not encompass a body of scars or bumps or these or that's. It is not most common on this piercing or that piercing or this wound or that wound. The truth of the matter is that it is most common in Latino descent, African American descent, Northern European descent. These are the people that are going to be more prone to this type of scarring. Bottom line, cut and dry, what can you do about keloid scarring? How do you know you have one? And how do you act upon it from there? Well, you can come to the tattoo shop first. As a non-medical professional, I can't diagnose you with anything. Neither can Matt from UBJ. But what I can do for you, being that I've seen my fair share of irritation, bumps, piercing, pimples, hypertrophic scars, keloid scars, I can tell you what it looks like to me. But the next thing I do, if I feel as though you have keloid scarring, as I say, do you have a dermatologist? Do you have a general practitioner? I think you need to make an appointment with them to have it looked at. And from there, they can direct you in whatever the hell direction they are going to direct you in. But I would also like to somewhat conclude here that, I would say 9.9 out of 10 people I talk to that think they have a keloid do not have a keloid. Or more than likely do not, I should say. These bumps that we're talking about, being prevalent on a nostril, it's, everybody I deal with thinks that they have a keloid. And I really think it's because of people like this that are spreading, false facts. This isn't true, and this guy has a very confident standpoint in the way he speaks. This video is very well put together, but if there's one service I can present you with tonight, it's the knowledge of what is a keloid, what isn't, and beyond that, how to deal with it. See a dermatologist if you think you have a keloid. And remember, a keloid is a big scar that grows and grows and grows and stops. It's not something that comes and goes. It's not transient. It's just a certain type of scar, a specific type of scar, a medical term, not a slang term. No disrespect to Matt from UBJ, but I honestly feel like this guy is doing a disservice for piercers, piercing enthusiasts, piercers that are learning, people that are learning about their piercings. I just want to conclude here by saying a keloid scar is a genetic predisposition. It isn't something that you can prevent unless you never hurt yourself or get pierced. It's nothing that I can fix for you. It is something to take up with a dermatologist, because they know about skin and they know about scars, and that's their job. My job is to poke the hole and make sure I'm doing it, sterilely and in the most cleanly way possible. 10% of a piercing is making sure I do a good job. 90% of a piercing is making sure you're following up with it correctly. This is misinformation that is going to more than likely lead you into dealing with your bumps incorrectly. So yeah, my name's Drew Mazer, body piercer, and let's just keep going. Let's just see.
Really common one you see is cartilage and industrial piercings and stuff of that nature. The keloid bone can actually form on any piercing for that matter, okay? It doesn't have to just be a nostril, cartilage, or anything else. I've seen them on navel piercings, I've seen it on lip piercings, I've seen it on just about every piercing that they're in. So
that's really it. Hypertrophic scarring and keloid scarring are two different things. Keloid scarring is not a slang term that encompasses all kinds of bumps. Keloid scarring is when the fibroblasts and proteins keep multiplying until you have what appears to be a big marble on the back of your ear that doesn't hurt anymore because it's just this big crazy scar. And on that note, I think we've covered the bases. I know I sound like a broken record here, but yeah, this guy is pretty wrong. Next time you get a piercing, keep an eye out, keep it clean, don't play with it. If you get a bump, get it checked out. If your bump gets big and crazy, go get it checked out by a doctor. That's it. It's a well put together video, but this is just wrong, and I truly believe the reason that most of the people who call me and show up to my place of business complaining about their non-existent keloid is probably because of guys like this that keep convincing people that they have keloids that they don't. So thank you for listening. You probably don't have a keloid, and if you do, just talk to a dermatologist.